contemplated suicide. For those that have succeeded in their desire to end their lives, some we need to pity, some we envy, and some we are glad they are dead. Everyone has a reason for killing themselves. If you have gone through life without ever contemplating suicide, I envy you. It could have been for a variety of reasons. Maybe you've never been in a situation where you want to kill yourself. But there are people that have been in that situation where they have. And for whatever reason, whatever motive, it is not an easy way to go. People do it for many reasons. You can drown yourself, which isn't very nice, because you're struggling to get above the water and breathe. You could hang yourself. You could shoot yourself, stab yourself, slash your wrists, drive off a cliff. There are many, many reasons why people proceed and complete their mission to die. But let's look at those people who are manipulated, brainwashed, tricked into killing themselves. Have you ever known an English person or American person who have strapped dynamite to themselves and blown themselves up? It is very rare. But in Iraq, in Pakistan, and other Muslim countries, you got suicide bombers. I mean, you got to ask yourself this simple, basic question. How is it that some of these people have been brainwashed to a degree that they've strapped dynamite, or they've allowed people to strap dynamite to themselves, go into a crowd of people and blow themselves up? I mean, you got to ask yourself the question, really? Are their lives so screwed up? Well, actually, it is not about having a strong mind. It's about whether you are submissive or not. I would say every Islamic suicide bomber, whatever country they've lived in or whatever country they've committed mass deaths from being a suicide bomber. They're not domineering, because if you were domineering, then you wouldn't allow yourself to be manipulated and maneuvered and brainwashed. So you have to be submissive. But how do these clerics, these Islamic clerics, locate these submissive individuals? Well, to be a teacher, you got to be able to draw people to you. You got to be able to say things in such a way that people kind of come to you like a magnet, like flies on a piece of shit, that sort of thing. You got to be attractive. You got to be charismatic. You got to be manipulative. But there are many ways you can be charismatic and manipulative. If you brainwash someone for the only reason to one day put them to strap and dynamite to their body so they can go into a crowd of people and kill 25 or 30 people or they're dead. Because when you think about it, they're obviously told that you will be a martyr, you'll be God's martyr, God's servant, you'll go straight to heaven. But there's no proof there's heaven. There's no proof there's hell. There is an underworld, but there isn't hell. So think of it. There you are. You know you have this ability to be able to draw people, to hypnotize people, to bewitch people by the way you present yourself, the way you talk, the way you use words. I mean, your words could be a drug. People become so submissive and blind that they become dead, so to speak. They're only alive when you speak. When you don't speak, they are dead. They're in a comatose state. So you can either benefit someone. If someone is basically lazy, but you know they're submissive, you can inspire them to look for work or do volunteer work. You could say, you need to do volunteer work for the greatest purpose, or the greater purpose of mankind, and benefiting of yourself. By helping others, you are helping yourself. You're getting your ass off the chair, so to speak. Now, many people would find it beneficial, but then again, you come across the religious or a non-religious teacher, who they know are able to manipulate people, locate submissive men and women, and that's a very dangerous individual. That person is so dangerous, it's like hiding a nuclear weapon somewhere, and only you know where it is, and only you know the password to turn it on or turn it off. But you won't tell anybody. That's how dangerous the brainwashing teacher is. I mean, one of the examples of brainwashing is Jim Jones, the cult leader. I forget how many people he got to poison themselves. But you think about it. Contemplated suicide. If you thought about it and you're depressed, or you go to a coffee shop on a regular basis and people in the coffee shop start to recognize you and realize that you are very suicidal, you are very depressed, and you're full of anxiety and hatred. Then one day you go for a coffee and you meet this individual who is, wow, so stimulating, so amazing person with words. I feel relaxed and in tune to just listen to the person's words, speaking, utterances. And the teacher, if they are correct, they realize that they have a sub, someone who do whatever they tell them to do. And if it's a corrupt teacher, then you know you can do anything. It's like sadomasochism. In many ways, you are, in a sense, if you serve someone and you have sex with that individual and you're married at the same time, you will not view it as adultery. You may not know why you feel the need to submit sexually to this individual, whatever command they give you. Because in a sense, you're living two lives. In the life of a submissive, are you really alive? Look at it from a logical point of view. If this master or dominatrix says that, well, sexuality is my pleasure, and whatever they command the male or female to do, they do it without question. So with the dominatrix, torture, sadomasochism, is in a sense a dead individual allowing themselves to be no longer alive? Because ask yourself the question. This is a very simple question which always confuses me. Why do people, men and women, either a man likes to have electrodes attached to his penis and the switch is thrown and electricity is catapulted, so to speak, through his body, and it's extremely painful, but he gets delight out of it. Then you get the woman who has electrodes onto her clitoris, and electricity is shot all the way through her body, and it's excruciating, but she enjoys it. How can you really enjoy pain? So what you could say is, if they enjoy pain and pain gives them pleasure, then if they go to a dentist, they don't need anaesthetics, do they? They don't need pain killers or injections, because obviously going to enjoy it. But they may say, oh, I don't enjoy that kind of pain. I like my master whipping me, doing what my master tells me to do. So are they, in a sense, are they alive? Because when you contemplate suicide, you have only one person in mind, yourself. Everyone outside of your reality, outside of your barriers, they have no importance. And because they have no importance, they are dead as well, like you are dead. And it's like people who smoke around children deliberately. I mean, the amount of times I've got off a bus or been at a bus station and a woman or a man walk past me and I can smell a cigarette smoke on them, and they have children with them, and I know for a fact that when they smoke around their children. So in a sense, they're dead, and they want their children to die as well. They don't care that their children suffer. It's like people who own animals as pets. If you get a puppy and you bring it home, and you start smoking in the presence of the puppy, it inhales the crap that you inhale the crap. So in a sense, what you're doing is you are creating a situation where the puppy won't commit suicide because it's not in its nature, so to speak. But you have sentenced it to die, ruin its lungs. You obviously don't give a rat's ass about yourself. So ask yourself the question: if you smoke, are you allowed to have a dog or a cat or an animal as a pet? Some may say no. But on the other hand, if you have Virgin Media or Sky TV and you can watch adult porn, do you let your children have the password, or do you create a password that children can figure out? I mean, Game of Thrones, that's filth and that's debauchery. I mean, they've actually mentioned necrophilia, having sex with cadavers. I mean, at the end of the day, why would anybody act in a way that they have to appear naked on TV or in films? So that's, in a sense, you have killed yourself for money, to be famous, to get a job. But you ask yourself the question: 99% of all actresses, female actresses, they started off doing porn. They posed naked. They've killed themselves, in a sense. And when someone takes a picture of you when you're naked or makes a video, they only copyright. So 10, 20, 30, 40 years later on down the road, you might be married and have a couple of kids. And all of a sudden your son comes over and says, "Mummy, is that you?" And you're completely naked. You've killed your son or your daughter or your husband who didn't know you'd done that sort of thing. But ask yourself this question. If men and women are supposed to be equal and have equal rights, why is it that women have to take their clothes off and not men? See? Why is it that men can be excused from it, but women are not? Which is exploitation. And again, you're killing that person. You are killing yourself. If you knowingly exploit someone sexually, financially, mentally, physically, psychologically, you are, in many ways, dead. You're not living. What is your purpose in life? What is your input in life? If you make pornographic films, although some women will want to work and do it for the money, but what happens if one day one of your female porn stars comes into work and you say to her, well, look, here's a couple of grand. I want you with 3 guys. And she knows for a fact, and it goes straight through her head, that she has to take painkillers to have anal sex. Because it's extremely painful. Which, in a sense, if you had to take painkillers to counteract pain from anal sex, it's sadomasochism, it's buggery. Well, yes, when you think about it, anal sex is sodomy and buggery. There's no way of getting around it. So, have you ever contemplated death? I don't mean not only just killing yourself, but killing yourself by exploiting others for money, for whatever reason. So, those people that have killed themselves, they could be the murderers, could have been pedophiles, could have been so depressed that they saw no end or no future for them. And for whatever reason, it affects everybody. Unless you're the kind of person who sees that someone's committed suicide and they turn around and say to themselves, dickhead, should have had more sense. But not everyone is strong-willed, and not everybody can endure endless amounts of stress. I'd say there's more people that have contemplated than there are not. I mean, when you go on tour in Iraq or Afghanistan, you leave the base, it must cross your mind, am I going to die today? Am I going to get back safely? Will I ever see my parents or my wife or my girlfriend or my children? And at the end of the day is, where is the purpose of being in Afghanistan? Where is the purpose? In all the years that the NATO has been involved in Afghanistan and Iraq, but specifically Afghanistan, have they actually destroyed any of the poppy fields? No, they haven't. Why haven't they? It's in their best interest to buy the drugs from the growers. We all know that cocaine and heroin is very bad. It can kill people. It can cause people to contemplate committing suicide. Because there are more people with wealth. There are a minority of people with great wealth that have control over the people with little wealth. And the wealthy, which is a contribution to poverty and global poverty, is a form of causing someone to die, themselves to die. If you see that it will not benefit to bring in restrictions on selling guns, Financially, it's like cutting your arm off. So the beginning was, have you contemplated suicide? In many ways, you can contemplate killing someone that you have control over. And what does that make you? A scum-sucking son of a bitch. That's what it makes you. If you know that if your child goes to a certain school, they'll be bullied. If you then you say to yourself, well, I don't know with bullying. I wasn't bullied, but I would have quite coped with it. If my children can't cope with bullying, they're wimps. And that's an attitude that has no purpose in society, but unfortunately, many people believe that. They say, oh, it's okay if my children watches porn. Doesn't bother me. So they automatically assume it won't bother the child, but the point is, there are so many people in life that are dead. And it means that you have to be extremely strong-willed, motivated, having a strong philosophy on how you view life and how you view people. In many ways, having lots of friends can be extremely detrimental and stressful, because they all have problems. They may whinge, complain, bitch about something. And this reality, is it what the creators of mankind had intended for mankind who have free will? Very unlikely. I mean, where is peace? I mean, what's happened to the United Nations? I mean, okay, I'll give you an instance, right? The Prime Minister of Pakistan recently got arrested for corruption. England sends across to Pakistan £20 million a year. I bet you they're still sending it. So at the end of the day is, you must take money away from English people and give it to Muslims. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I am SV Dagan, and just think for 1 second. Have you contemplated either your own death or those of others? Can you hear the noises behind me or around me? Can you hear the giggling, the laughter? Can you?